Okay, thank you for watching me live. I am going to be talking about investing into your coaching business in 2020 and how to scale beyond the six figures with the right investing. Okay, so my name is Diva Polikova. I'm an executive coach for entrepreneurs. And as far as my background, I'm an international speaker. I have a #1 Amazon bestselling book, but my background is very, very businessy, right? Unlike other coaches, I have a lot of corporate background when I used to manage corporate finance, but also marketing multi-million-dollar budgets. And I also scaled my own business beyond seven figures, and then I sold it. And I've also launched and managed micro businesses, $3,000 to $5,000 a month, right, in revenue. So like from tiny to really, really big to huge, right? So that's why I'm here. I want to talk to you about how to invest money into your business for growth in 2020. So thank you so much for joining me. So there's some things that I want to cover first. Investing versus spending. Such an important topic, guys. So when you think about the chunk of money you have to spend in your business, which should be about 50% of your revenue, right? So let me backtrack. If you're planning for profits, $100,000 this year, you should be planning for a revenue of $200,000 because you need to have 50% to reinvest back into your business, right? And not after you make it, but before you make it, right? Because you have to invest first to make money. Right? One of the biggest mistakes that entrepreneurs make is, I'm not going to invest into my business until I make money, and then they end up nowhere, right? They never get the first 5 or 10 clients or whatever because they're actually not willing to invest into their business, right? And by the way, I ask people all the time, do you have a VA? Do you have a team? Do you have a coach? Do you have a bookkeeper? Are you investing into building your audience and scaling your audience? And the answers that they give me is pretty much always consistent with the amount of money that they're making, right? People who are in it for the long haul, who have a long-term vision, who are certain about the path that they're on, they're not kind of like tiptoeing and being careful. Hi guys, good to see you. Thank you so much for joining me. We're talking about investing into your business for scaling beyond six figures in 2020. So what was I talking about? Okay, so the people who really in it for the long haul, right? They're not afraid to invest into their business. Or maybe they're afraid, because I know I'm scared, but they do it anyway, all right? So 50% of your revenue should be reinvested back into your business. So if you're planning on making six figures, 100,000 in profits this year, you're going to be probably investing the same amount of money. So plan on bringing revenue of 200,000 in, right? So then you have to think about, okay, how much you're going to charge per coaching client? Do I need to run group programs, or can I run a boutique show of really, really high-end VIP few clients? And you need to also be thinking about your time. And I talked about this last week in the live that, right, you need to do the math because you don't have more than 25% of your total time to be spending on client work, right? So if you're working a 40-hour work week, then, right, you might only have 10 hours a week to be doing client work. So how much do you need to be charging per hour? Do you need to up-level your coaching program? Do you need to do some down-free elements? Do you need to do a group program, so on and so forth? But anyway, if you want to learn more about that, that was in last week's video. But let's talk about the investing piece. So what should you invest into? What should you not invest into? So the first question you need to ask yourself, hi Dr. Mike, good to see you. All right, so the difference between investing and spending. So you need to ask yourself, is this money going to give me my ROI one way or another, right? So fancy office, probably not, right? High-end website, hardly ever does it give anybody any ROI back. If you have been in business for quite some time, then you understand if you're going to do anything online at all, it needs to be funnels, not a website, because nobody will actually go into your website, right? Unless you have a funnel and say you need to be investing money into funnel building, not the website piece. Makes sense? What else should you not invest into? Memberships and networking groups that don't have your ideal clients in there. See people doing it all the time, joining things like BNI and then finding out, oh my gosh, my ideal client's not here. Well, they're not, right? Most of the times they're not. And then you try to get referrals, but in a coaching business, that's really, really hard because that person has to be inspired by you personally. So these networking groups, especially for coaches and consultants, and in a service-based business where you are the brand, then somebody else referring you is really, really tough. Makes sense? Because you literally the brand of your business. What else? Memberships. Oh, random advertising placements. So I'm all about spending money on advertising, but you need to know the ROI of that, right? We teach people in my programs on how to invest into Facebook ads to scale their audience and things like that. But you need to be focusing on conversion-based ads, not right some kind of random ad placements. And I know this from my previous 7-figure business. There were always people approaching me, "I'm going to do a listing over here on this website or with this magazine, yada yada," and PR, and it just doesn't work. So you want to be really, really careful about that, okay? Especially if you're new to business, you're still trying to get to the six figures, then you want to absolutely not spend any money on advertising where you do not know the conversion rate and you do not know the cost of lead, all right, or the cost of email address or the cost of the new person you're bringing into your audience. Okay, so now let's talk about the things you absolutely have to invest into. Number one is, and I am going to say this not just because I'm a business coach, but you absolutely have to invest into business coaching. You have to invest into your mindset, because if you're not in the right mindset and the right energy, and you guys know this, if your energy is not right, you're not going to attract anybody in your business. So make sure you're working with somebody who lifts you up, who elevates your mindset, who encourages you, who believes in you, who's going to make sure that your mindset is conducive to selling and scaling your business. All right, so hi, good to see you. So make absolutely sure that you have a coach that deals with your mindset and building your business skills, okay? Because even if the ROI isn't immediate, this is like, we're in it for the long haul, right? 6-7-figure entrepreneurs, we're in it for the long haul. You need to be investing into learning some basic skills. So what are those skills? Number one, sales. So crucial. I spend a lot of time mastering sales for myself, and now I'm investing on my team. We're learning how to do sales, whether it's through social media networking or on the phone sales or from the stage sales or from camera sales. Sales is probably the most important thing going into 6 figures. Then at some point, we can think about hiring a team for that, right? But at the beginning, it's so crucial. And that is where most entrepreneurs actually are really, really bad, right? No matter what background you're from, it's really, really challenging. And maybe you have background in sales, but selling yourself as the brand is a whole other different challenge. So there's going to be mindset blocks. There's going to be mindset blocks around charging what you're worth. Every time you need to raise your price, there's going to be, right, a mindset block. So you need to make sure you deal with sales, the mindset around sales. You're up-leveling your discovery call script. You're learning how to do sales online and offline and all that. So it's number one. Number two is marketing. Investing into learning marketing. You as the CEO of your business are basically a marketer, right? And there's things, we always have to be learning those skills and improving those skills because, and this never ends. Like the things that worked yesterday to promote your coaching business just don't work today. Like case in point, you guys remember like 6 months, 12 months ago, like those webinars, like you were jumping all these webinars, everybody was eating it up, right? Or maybe it's more than 12 months ago, but it was like these like 90-minute webinars that were really, really converting. Right now, we all know what that's about. We're not gonna jump on one because we know it's a sales pitch and we know what to expect and we get on it maybe from time to time, but it's like, it's not working anymore. The conversion rates just aren't there. So, but there's still people trying to sell $10,000 to $15,000 programs teaching you how to do webinar sales, right? And the truth is, for most people, that just doesn't work. There's a few people who it works for, but it's like 1% at the most. So you need to be learning what works now, right? You need to be investing into your marketing skills and constantly updating them. But there are some skills that just don't go away, right? Your presence, energetically, being able to sell on camera and in person, those are the skills you need to invest into. Plus, the new marketing skills and what works, right? So what works right now, opt-in ads are working really, really well for us, right? Opt-in email ads. I'm talking about that, right? So running Facebook ads to bring people into your email list. Super, super crucial. We teach our clients how to do that. Selling on camera through lives, right? Super, super good. Running challenges, things like that. Whether, for us, it mostly works on Facebook. So we have most of our core tribe is in my Facebook group. It's her business, and we do weekly trainings all the time. So if you haven't visited, hop in. We do trainings every single Wednesday. What else works? Meetups, if you have the right kind of meetup, right, with the right branding, gathering people who actually want to be gathered together. It can be obviously salesy, right? Speaking, absolutely. Super, super important to have speaking skills. Selling from stage, making an offer, even if it's a free offer for a discovery session. Super key. Speaking is still hot. Doing or online speaking, right? Like contacting a bunch of groups and scheduling webinars. Like I'm just in the process of scheduling 45 different webinars for next year. So I have those sprinkled in. And usually when you find an organization that has multiple chapters around the country, that you can schedule that, right? So those are some of the things that are really, really working, right? And there are a lot of things that aren't. The webinar funnels that I mentioned, just to make the distinction, right? Going into an organization and doing webinars for their established members, that works. But doing the funnel type of thing, doing Facebook ads, running a webinar, that does not work, right? So that's the distinction right there, right? I just want to make sure that's clear. So that doesn't work. What else doesn't work? Just simple, like, you know, it used to be so easy to launch a program just through like an email sequence. That doesn't work anymore, right? Because people are kind of like used to the salesy email templates. So templatized selling doesn't work anymore. I think you can kind of read it when you get those emails and you're like, somebody used a template, right? You know what it is, right? You need to be authentic in your sales and marketing. You have to be real. You have to be certain. You have to show up and share, right? So being authentic and sharing your heart out, that does work. So anyway, I got backtrack a little bit. So you want to make sure you're investing into developing those skills, right? So investing into the right coaching program. When I say the right coaching program, super, super important to pick the right one, because I see so many year-long business coaching programs that are absolutely horrendous. People spend $20,000 and more on these programs and come out of it and get nothing. Now, I don't want to blame the coaches always, because as we all know, there's people who perform and who do the work, and there's people who don't, right? But when you are looking for somebody to work with, make sure you're asking the right questions. Make sure you are filling all those skills that you're going to be needing. And they're teaching that. They're teaching marketing, sales, messaging, branding, audience building, stuff like that, right? Make sure there's personal support. Make sure you have some one-on-one time, even if it's in like Q&A sessions. There needs to be some time where you can ask those questions, where you can sit with somebody. You're not just going to be on those group calls and listen and not get anywhere, right? Not get your questions answered, and not get anybody ever to look at the stuff that you're creating, right? Because where people struggle the most, or not the most, but people struggle quite a bit, is creating their own copy, and nobody looks at it, and they're like totally off brand and off track, and it's not resonating with everybody. But if nobody looks at it, you're never gonna know. So pick a program that has some individual support, where somebody will be willing to look at your stuff. Somebody will hold you accountable. Accountability is key, right? Because here's the thing, running a business creates a lot of fear. And out of that fear comes this up and down and up and down, okay? And there's a whole lot of self-sabotage that goes on in business, as you know. It's like you move forward and then you stop, and then you move forward and you stop, right? Every time you stop and you go into hiding, that's the time you could have made a huge break, right? So make sure you have somebody holding you accountable, right? So you're not doing this like, right? This back and forth. So you're moving like that and you're constantly building your skills. You have somebody holding you accountable, okay? So, gotta back check it again. So, all right, so to recap, the things to not invest in and the things to invest in, all right, in 2020 in your business. So first, the things to not invest in or to not spend money on. I should be careful of what I say, right? Spending versus investing, right? So the things I've seen that do not bring return is number one, building a fancy website, spending too much time on that, because we all know it's not just money spent, but it's also you hiding and spending that precious time you should be spending actually building audience of people, right? Number two, fancy branding. Those are the things that I can teach you in like literally 2 hours. Create your brand. Use Canva. You can have a logo in $15. Done tomorrow. It's not that important before you hit the 6-figure mark. After that, right, multiple 6 figures, then you can hire a fancy brand designer and spend money on that. Up until then, be very, very careful, right? Spending money, being part of networking organizations that don't have your ideal client, don't do that, right? Because we as coaches and consultants, we're the face of our business. That means somebody else referring us is, especially if you're selling a high-end program, is unlikely to work. You have to nurture that audience. They have to build trust with you. They have to get to know you. Make sense? So you want to make sure you're not wasting money on that. What else? Just like random overhead. You don't need a fancy office. Right, hey, this board is like, I don't know, $20, that's it, right? Like I don't use any fancy technology for my lives either. I have a $24 light ring from Amazon, right? So I'm all about just like the stuff that does not bring revenue, doesn't generate revenue, not spending a whole bunch of money on it, okay? So those are things not to spend money on. The things to invest money in, number one, coaching, business coaching, right? Learning those skills. Right, and we covered some of those skills. So your marketing skills, your sales skills, your mindset. Number two, audience building and scaling, right? So investing money into driving people into your audience, okay? Whether it's on your email list, your Facebook group, whatever it is, you can do it manually. You don't have to do paid advertising, right? You can spend the time, but it's either your time or the money. It's got to go one way or another, right? So you have to, because you're going to have to build your audience. Without that, you're not going to be able to scale your business, all right? Because you're going to be chasing just one person here, one person over there. It's going to be really, really difficult. Number three, team member. So think about, as early as you can in your business, you want to think about bringing a VA and a bookkeeper. Those two are super crucial at the beginning. And you don't have to spend a lot of money. I spend $35 a month on my bookkeeper, that's it. Saves me a ton of time, she knows what she's doing. You don't have to be spending a lot of money on that. As far as a VA, I started with 3-4 hours a week, right? And I think that was a lot of hours. Some people start with 1 or 2 hours a week. That's all you need. But that's the 1 or 2 hours you're going to be actually spending, the time you're going to be spending building your audience and doing sales. So think about the skills you need to develop and what somebody else can do, right? So building that relationship with your first team member, learning how to work with them and building that team from the start is also super, super important. If you're serious, if you're strategic, if you're in it for the long haul, taking your business to 6 and 7 figures, right? If you're just like, oh, I just want to have a handful of 4 or 5 clients and that's it, and I just want to make like $30,000 a year, whatever, and stay like right around broke, and that's really okay. You don't need a VA. You don't need to invest into coaching. You don't need to invest into bookkeeper. You can just do it yourself and stay around there. But if you're serious about taking your business to a certain level, then those are things you're going to have to invest in. Okay, so that's what I have for you guys today. What else? Make sure you join my Facebook group, my Facebook tribe. You can go to evapalekova.com / it's her business, and Eva with an I, so evapalekova.com / it's her business, or you can just pop in a Facebook group and type in it's her business. We have a couple different chapters, so you just make sure you don't pick the Denver or Colorado Springs or Boulder one. Just go with the one that just says it's her business. So pop in there. We do a lot of training, and next week we're starting on the 13th. We're doing the audience building launchpad. You're gonna get a lot out of it. It's a 5-day free workshop. We're gonna be building each day on top of the previous day. So you don't want to miss Monday. You want to be there at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We're starting on Monday. There's going to be a worksheet. You make sure you download the worksheet. It's going to be posted on Monday morning, and you want to be following along, building your audience. It's going to be super, super exciting. I'm going to give you some specific tasks, specific homework every single day. So you're not just consuming information and saving it for later. You're actually going to be taking action every single day, getting stuff done, so that when we're done on Friday, you have something to show for it. Makes sense? It's going to be super exciting. I can't wait to see you there. So that's what I have. Thank you so much for watching live or watching the replay. I appreciate you. And I know some of you guys have connected with my colleague Jay over the Messenger. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. She loves connecting with people, or connect with me on Facebook once you join the group. Say hi. I'm going to make sure we get connected. And thank you so much for watching. And if I don't talk to you till then hopefully I'll see you on Monday at the Audience Building Launchpad.